Hi, good evening all of you. I'm Dr. M. Kamakshaya. Today in this video demonstration, I'm going to explain a particular aspect called try except in Python programming. Try except is very important mm, code blocks while defining user logic. And so this try except addresses a particular aspect called an error. And then what is an exception? Error is a problem in the logic or maybe in the program which is encountered by the interpreter. Because I'm talking about the Python has the interpreter. If it is Java, then it is compiler. So whenever compiler comes across an error in the program, the execution will be stopped. So such things are referred to errors, and exception is something that user intendedly handle a particular error which arises out of execution. So some extent I can say that error is so generic, which eventually happens whenever there is a bug in the code or maybe the logic is erratic, and exception is something user handling mechanism or maybe error handling mechanism or maybe a strategy of the user in order to handle the errors. So how are we going to do that in Python? So this is my IDE, which is I have Python installed 3.10 in my system, 3.10.4 or 3. Star something. So which is not so latest, but okay, fine. Now I'm going to open a file and try to do some. For instance, if I have a variable x which has some integer, and now try what I can straight away just do this. I will try to divide this x value with some maybe 10 or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Now control save. I didn't save my script, by the way. I have to save the script in order to where can I let me go to, it takes a bit of time. Okay, fine. Because so we need to save the file, our script in the storage, otherwise it will ideally will not run the script. Save it, and if I press F5, now it is 1.2, right? So obviously we all know. For instance, if there is something called a character, okay, it's not a number, let us assume that it is a character. Now obviously this is an error in the program. Sorry, I have a weird machine in my hand, so it prints something whenever it never prints whatever I intend to print whenever I type something in my machine. So now obviously it's going to be an error. They're going to, because there is error in my logic or in program. Now let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so there is a type error. So type means what? What is the type of x? So this obviously should be a string, right? So when we, so it is a string, so it is not possible to divide a string with so there is a type error, right? So in the same fashion, even I can divide a number with a character, same thing will happen. Like this, there are so many error handling mechanisms, and each mechanism is referred to an exception. So a few such exceptions are type error, zero division error, name error, or file not found error. It's not exactly file not found error, it's input error or something like that. For instance, if I am doing some sort of operation as such, let's say I'm trying to read a file, so I say f is equal to open some file, I say in D drive, some sample.txt in a read mode. Okay, now the file obviously is not there in my system, so when I try to print if read, I want to read something from the file, and when I try to do this activity, and this should file, yeah, file not found error. So this is what I was trying to refer to. So this is a bit a cause of concern whenever we are trying to develop some application, or maybe um, um, something else, like whenever we wanted to, if it is a user application, certainly this is not what is expected by the user. This users don't want to see this. Something should be there, some information must go to the user, right? Otherwise certainly that strategy is not a right strategy. Now how are we going to handle this? So first let me go back to my previous code. So how are we going to handle this type okay, error? Now if I can do that with the help of a try except block. Okay, so here I can just come back. Certainly my code has, so this is not what is expected. I cannot divide a character with a number. Now try this logic. This is what is my logic. I'm telling Python interpreter, this is what is my logic. If my logic is okay, then you just print the result. Otherwise, print check your inputs. Okay, so this time let's obviously there is a problem in my logic. I cannot divide the character with a number. Now I'll just try to comment this, save, alt F5, check your inputs. So this time it is not printing this all confusing information to the console, and it neatly prints something which I intend to print to my users. So this way I can also handle this block here. I'll comment this and then I uncomment this. So I don't have the file right now in my operating system. I'll go back to my file system, to D drive, and try to create a file, sample.txt, I guess, if I remember correctly. So this is a text file, sample.txt, and I want to write some dummy hello world, just a namesake. Now close this. Now I got now that I got a file in my storage. So this time if I go back to my script, so it is sample.txt read, print read, it prints automatically, right? So obviously save. Now hello world, so it is reading the data from the file and then printing it. Now if I delete this, so obviously it is going to, I'm doing some weird things, don't worry. Try again. Yeah, because now it is associated with my program. Yeah, okay, it's okay, fine, no problem. So here, come back. I think F close I should this is the problem. Okay, why we use F close is because I have to, so now when I print F5, so hello world, and now F file is closed. When I go back to my storage and delete, it's deleted. So these are the small mistakes which we do in our, now file. Now that I deleted my file, let me again run this. Again there is file not found error. So if it is an application, certainly our users don't want to see this kind of message being printed by our application. So it is better to give some decent message to our users. Since it is just a simple script, it's not an application, doesn't matter. But if it is a user based application, then certainly users don't like to see this kind of message. So we can customize this with, this is file not found error, right? It doesn't matter, whatever it is, we can just simply use try. Now I can, so these conventions are very important in Python. The indentation is we have to be very particular. So except, now this time if anything goes wrong, except means if anything goes wrong in my logic, just check your file. Okay, so just a kind of silly example, don't worry. So now check your file. Since I don't have the file, so it will tell me. Now I create a file. Okay. So this time, let's see if accept happens or not. Save, Alt F5, hello world. So this is how we can just make use of try accept in Python. But the problem is, okay, fine. This looks like a bit confusing. So how does this try accept behaves when we are creating an application, a user application? So I'm going to demonstrate that with the help of a Flask application. So I already have a Flask installed in my, so I just create a small, assuming a context called digital payments. That application must be able to, now whenever I trigger a payment, the application must be able to pay money. If there is no money in my bank, the application should decline. So obviously, when there is no money, the application is going to throw some information as in the form of an error to the user. So just as we have seen some error messages, same error message will be sent to the user, which users don't like to see. So how are we going to handle such messages, confusing messages in our application? That is actually the point for discussion in this demonstration. Now I already have pip in my system. Yeah. So pip show Flask. I'm just trying to check whether the Flask is installed in my system or not. Yeah, it is installed. So I'm going to create a small Flask application in my. You have to bear with me for some time. Yeah, here I'll create. I think this is a good place to create application. My system, I say digital payments. Okay, and now I'm going to create an app. So that, how are we going to do that? So I just create app.py. By the way, you just have to, I assume that you know fundamentals of Flask. If you don't know, you just go online and Flask documentation, Flask Python documentation, you will get everything. So if you are seeing this video, I assume that you already know some fundamentals or basics. If you don't know fundamentals, it doesn't matter, don't worry. I'll create one more a folder for templates. This is, I would like to use this folder for templates, HTML templates. Now I'll open my app script. I don't have, this is the problem with fine, no problem. So a file association is not there in my computer. So that is the, actually I could open VS Code, right, instead of ideally, but anyway, okay, fine. So I want to use pretty decent and basic tools. Hello, where are you? Yeah, digital payments, this one. Now yes, so from Flask. So by the way, I told you, I assume you know fundamentals, but those people who don't know fundamentals of Flask, it's a micro framework for web development to Python developers, documentation, something like that. See, this is the portal, or maybe the place where you'll find the official documentation related to the Flask micro framework, and you can just go through this a minimal application, and here this is how we create the server. I mean, it's a minimal application where you just print hello world to your browser. Okay, so I can just copy paste, but I don't like to do that. From Flask, import Flask and render template, and what requests are not required. This is just going to be app is equal to Flask and then name. Okay, what is this name? This is the name of the module. Okay, now I straight away create a route is that URL and I just wanted to keep now def I straight away go, shall I go straight away to the, okay, I will use some home, return hello world. Okay, now I get one more route, app route, this time I call it as payment. Okay, and then logic for this route is going to be payment. Now yeah, here what is my strategy comes. So I would like to keep a file in my project directory and I call it as bank. Okay, so this file is going to print some information, bank.txt, and this bank I can keep some money in this, or I can just return a response to transaction. I wanted to return a response to transaction. Hi, your payment is made. Goods are being packed. Doesn't matter. Okay, some bullshit. Now close this. So what I'm going to do, my logic is going to be f the file open. So in the same directory I am right now, so it doesn't matter, I don't need to take the full path. Bank.txt in read mode. Okay, and then return a string f read. I'll save that information into something called s, and then f close. I want to close the, if you don't close, return. Maybe I can just send s to my server, just s, that's all. And now this, I wanted to convert my Python script, this app, into a module. So name, this name, okay, this, the name of this module is main, some conditional to make it executable, and main, okay, then app run. I want to run in debug mode. So you have all this documentation online, don't worry. Now this is my pretty decent application where assuming that my transaction response from my bank will be a simple sentence that payment is done. So whenever I trigger this button, so assuming that this is a button actually, so it should respond a statement saying that your transaction is being made, something like that. So if I delete the file, it simply means the transaction did not take place. So that is a simple, useless strategy that I am trying to do in this application. Now, okay, fine. Go back to, I have to go to this place, not this. I will close this. So here I open my terminal. What happened? Yeah, open terminal. Now here, yes, I'm in the terminal. Python app.py. Yes. Yeah, something went wrong. App.py payment, def payment. URL. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. So my bad. This is not URL, right? This is just a statement. This should be a URL. Save. Now go back again. CLS. Yeah, now my server is running. Let me go to this server. What happened? I am not control. No. Why my cursor is not coming? Okay, fine, no problem. I'll open browser on my own. So go here, local host colon 5000. That is my URL. Hello world, because it is home route. Now if I go to payment, okay, hi, your payment is made. Goods are being packed. So let us assume I don't have response is not coming from my bank. Let's see what's going to happen now. Okay, I'm still I will close my server and run again. And now this time when I go back to the browser, this is what is going to happen. So this is what exactly I'm trying. So if user encounters this type of message in the application, they will get panic. So they'll be worried. What happened to my payments? Left with no clue whether there is a response from the bank or not. I don't have funds in my bank, or what else happened? So we don't like to show this type of ununderstandable response messages to our users. So it is better to give a meaningful information. So how are we going to do that? So go back to the app. Now I'm going to change my logic. I will envelope this within try except. I am not good with. I'm extremely sorry. Okay, fine. I'm not. Laptops is a big. Except this time, if I don't have funds, then return. Nothing happened. You may not be having funds in your bank. Nothing to be scared. Okay, save. Now that I don't have it went automatically. The server closed, nothing. Okay, fine. So I did a mistake here. I did not enclosed my statement correctly. Now the server is running. This time, so yeah, nothing to be scared. You may be. So this is it looks pretty decent, right? So now this message makes sense to the users. This is how try except block is useful to the software developers or web developers or maybe programmers. Okay, it saves our day and it keeps users informed well. Now, as I said, let me assume that I have funds in my bank, and now how does that? So I don't think it will happen. Let's see, kind of. So payment. Hi, your payment is made. Goods are being packed. Something like that. So this is how we use try except block in Python while developing applications and addressing user needs. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the new content. Bye bye for now. Now to close this. Stop.